Hey everyone, and welcome to day 11 of speaking kind of what's on my heart or what's on my mind. Today we're covering nutrition. A lot of people had asked me about this. This is something that I will just touch on very briefly because I am not a nutritionist. I believe that you should go, if you are very interested in this, you should study it. You should find a nutritionist, and whoever's work you're studying or whoever's work you're following or whoever's advice you're getting, I would suggest that you find someone who has either coached someone in this area before, so someone who's coached marathon runners on what to eat and how to fuel themselves is going to have a different program for fighters because we use different energy systems. We use different muscles in different ways. Find someone who has coached, if you're here for Taekwondo stuff, find someone who has coached fighters before in nutrition and get their advice and how they did it and how the effects were of that, because obviously they've produced. If you're here for the weight loss, same idea. Find someone who has helped people lose weight before and what did they recommend to eat, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, I would also like to highlight the second thing is find a nutritionist who's also healthy. That means they're practicing what they're preaching, right? So if this guy's not good at sparring, he's telling you all this advice about how to be good at sparring. It's like, well, you're not, like, you haven't produced anyone. Like, you're not even that good. Why would I take your advice? Same idea here. If this person is eating correctly, they should be relatively fit. That just makes sense. So make sure you're taking advice from that guy. That being said, I'm going to cover what I'm doing now, what I was doing just before this, and what I was doing during my competition time. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to bulk. So that essentially means I just need to eat more calories than I'm expending at the gym and throughout the day. So the way I'm doing that is my wife cooks tri-tip for lunch, generally speaking. I have a lot of meat, make sure my protein is done. I have a protein shake in the morning. I have peanut butter sandwiches kind of to supplement my meals and get some extra calories in. And then I also eat dark chocolate acai berries or chocolate covered acai berries you can find at Costco. I don't actually know if those are healthy. I just know those are extra calories and I'm trying to bulk. And there are cleaner ways to do this. There are much, much cleaner ways to do it. It could just be straight chicken breast. I could be meal prepping all this stuff, but I don't want to do that. I'm very satisfied where I am right now, going in this direction, eating foods that I believe taste good. And so far, it's been working well for me. If I wasn't trying to gain muscle, I've recently come across a guy named Charles Poliquin. I'm probably butchering his name. A friend of mine turned me on to him recently. I would Google him. Unfortunately, he has passed away, but this dude was super healthy. He knew a lot of science behind the nutrition. And his general rule of thumb for people was eat whatever a caveman would eat. So a caveman has access to steak, a cooked steak, yeah, they do. They probably ate it. Does a caveman have access to pasta? Probably not. Didn't eat it. Do they have access to bread? Probably not. Didn't eat it. So that's kind of just a general rule of thumb. And the reason that, and besides that, I think he was mostly just proteins, berries, and nuts was predominantly his diet, stuff people had access to. But I want to reiterate for people who are in this camp of mine right now where they're just trying to maintain health, or in my case, gain muscle. So you need to be eating more than you're expending throughout the day. We're just trying, if you're just trying to maintain health, the general idea of why there's so much protein is because there's something I learned recently that's called protein satiation, where your body will keep eating until it feels like it's hit the amount of protein it needs. And so that's why if you're eating a steak, you can have like one big piece of steak, right? But if you replace the side of steak, that's steak with a bunch of chips or a bunch of fries, or sometimes you eat like a whole bag of chips, right? And you're like, how did I go through that whole thing and I'm still hungry? It's because there's like no protein in there. So your body thinks it's still hungry and will keep eating until that kind of thing is hit. At least that's my understanding. It seems to be effective for me and my family. My wife says she's not as hungry as much anymore. She doesn't really eat as much because the protein satiation has hit so fast, and it's been helping her lose weight. So that's what we're doing now. Now, what I used to do for fighting was I did a lot of workouts throughout the day. I don't know what my body fat percent was, but I do know that I used to do about 45, when I was training in the US by myself and training on my own, it was about 45 minutes to an hour track workout, hour and a half Taekwondo kind of technical workout, and then another hour and a half to 2 hour sparring cardio-ish intensive workout. And that was 3-4 times a week. The other days I was doing 2 days, so it'd be a kind of an hour track workout plus usually I did a couple of those days with the rounds. So pretty cardio intensive days. My diet for those days, actually kind of going through the Philippines as well, was generally I just found meat and protein. I found protein and rice, and I just ate a lot of protein and a lot of carbs. And a lot of times it'd just be fried rice with a bunch of eggs and whatever protein or ulam in Tagalog my dad had cooked that day, or my mom or Mommy Carmen had cooked for us that day. And that was a lot of my meals. And I just ate a lot of it because I was burning calories ridiculously. So if you're fighting, I would suggest if you were serious about it, look into nutrition. Also be ready to consume some fruits, some veggies, have an all-around good diet because you need all the vitamins and minerals to keep your body healthy so you can perform well. If you're not in that camp and you're not trained to fight 5 fights in one day, then you're over in the other camp where I currently am. I would suggest if you're trying to lose weight, obviously, just eat less calories or work out more, or do both, and you'll see a better, little deficit there. I would also suggest you should probably cut out carbs because, as Charles Polk, I'm going to research his name, but as he would say, only eat carbs if you've earned them, and you've only earned them if you are below 8% body fat, or if you're a woman, you're below 11% body fat. I know I'm not below 8%, so I shouldn't really be eating too many carbs, even though I'm trying to bulk. It's just an easier way to do that. But keep that in mind as you guys are eating and picking your meals, depending on what your goals are. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was helpful to you. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 12.